YouTube friends and family, I'm a survivor and thriver here. Guys, yesterday I explained why I'm no longer raising rabbits and quail. And so I just wanted to share with you some pros and cons of things that I've learned about raising livestock in the situation that I'm living in. I live in the suburbs. In the suburbs here, you are not allowed to raise livestock, but of course, me being a rebel, I was doing it anyway. All right, and I really enjoyed it. But I'm going to explain some cons first. Okay, number one, you have to buy feed for your livestock. At one point, as you know, I was raising rabbits and quail, so I had to get the two different types of feed for them. Number two, I had to feed and water them every day without fail. All right. Number three, I had to tend to my livestock. At a certain point, the rabbits' nails would get so long that I had to trim them. So I had to take each one of the breeding stock that I had, which was, at one point I had 2 females and I had 2 males, and I had to take each one of them out of the cage and trim their nails so that they don't get too long, on them. And so you have to do that maintenance on the rabbits. Now, when it comes to the quail, sometimes you may have a female quail or a male quail. If there are too many male quails in a cage, they will start fighting, and the dominant female quail would start bullying the other quail. And so they're fighting sometimes, and they're injuring each other, and with that you have to tend to them, and you have to make sure that they're healthy and they're safe. And that was something I had to deal with. I mean, it didn't happen too often, but it was something that I needed to take notice of, and I did that. And I had to tend to them as well. All right. Now, number 4, the noise. The rabbits didn't make any noise. The quail, you had the roosters, the male quail. They would sometimes crow. It wasn't a ridiculous amount of crowing. I mean, it was very manageable. It wasn't too, obstructive, to the neighbors. But I do have nosy and whiny neighbors. Okay. And so, as far as I know, no one complained on me, but you would get that look that, hey, we know something's going on over there. So that's number 4. And going along with number 4 is number 5. I would sometimes have utility workers come in my backyard, and they will have to pass by my rabbits and quail, and they will always look at them and ask questions, and I really didn't feel comfortable with that. So that's another thing, and it goes with number 4 because if the utility workers spotted me, if they spoke with the neighbors, they could have reported me, and I could have gotten fined. And I risked that chance of having that happen. And so that was a number 4, which was, number 5, which was a con. Number 6, which is the biggest one, traveling. As I expressed in my previous video, I had to do a lot of traveling for personal and business purposes. And I had to rely on other people to water and feed them while I was gone. Once I went out of town, one of my brothers, he told me that he would take care of it for me while I was gone. Well, he forgot to feed my rabbits and quail. That's what he said, he forgot. Oh my goodness, I felt so bad because I came back and a couple of my quail were dead and one of my rabbits were dead from not being fed and watered. And I just felt so guilty and horrible that happened to them. And I was like, you know what? I can't be raising them, tending to them and giving them the attention that they need with me doing all the traveling that I was doing. So, I came to the conclusion that it wasn't right for me at the time. All right. And it's still not right for me right now because I'm still taking care of an elderly parent, and it's very time consuming. And so, just to be fair and honest with myself and with them, I just decided to stop raising them. Okay, now I will discuss some pros. Okay? It was an overall good experience raising livestock. I had never raised livestock before. I have, I was born and raised, grew up in the city. And it was just something that I wanted to do. So I gained that knowledge and I've gained that experience by raising the rabbits and quail. I learned how to tend to them. I learned how to handle them. There was an older video that I did when I first got the rabbits, and I was so scared of those rabbits because when I was pulling the rabbit out of the box to put him in the cage, one of them scratched the mess out of my hands. And I was like, oh my gosh, these rabbits are going to kill me. And so I was a little skittish with handling the rabbits. But after time, I gained that experience and I gained that knowledge, of how to properly handle them so that I wouldn't get scratched. And so I was good with that. I learned that, and I'm very appreciative of that experience. With learning how to handle them, you can move them around. You can take them out of the cage to clip their nails and stuff like that. So that was something that I needed to get under my belt, and I got that. All right. I learned to breed and take care of their offspring. The baby rabbits would come, and I would know what to do, and I would know how to tend to the mother. And so those are experiences that I learned, and I'm so grateful for those experiences because if I had to do it again, I would know how to do it. Okay? And I'm sorry, my little puppy here, loves the attention. I'm right here. If you can't see it, I'm rubbing on her head and her body because she just can't take me not paying her any attention. All right, so another thing I learned is how to take care of livestock in the heat. We have brutal summers here. And I learned that I needed to put frozen water bottles in there with the rabbits so that they don't overheat and that they can lay down on and they can feel more comfortable. All right. So overall, would I recommend someone living in a situation like I'm living in the suburbs with nosy, whiny neighbors and utility workers coming onto your property and, you have people coming onto your property, maintaining your garden, your yard, cutting your grass and stuff like that. I would recommend it if you have the time to commit to those livestock. And just know that it is a commitment. All right. So if you're willing to do that and if you're willing to take a chance with being reported by nosy or whiny neighbors, or utility workers, then yes, I would say that it would be a thing for you to do. I would highly recommend it because, you got your fresh livestock that you grow in your backyard. They're excellent for that. All right. So I just thought that I owed you guys an explanation with that. Why, the pros and cons of raising livestock in your backyard, just in case you're living in a situation like I am. And so with that being said, I am doing something else. And the thing that I am doing now is I am going after wild game. Okay? For the reasons that I discussed, there are no cons with that I see. I don't have to feed them. I don't have to water them. I can go out there and get them whenever I'm ready. And that's the big thing. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be taking you guys along with me and showing you exactly what I'm doing. And I've already started and I'm very pleased with my results. And I'm going to share them with you. And if you're asking what am I going after? Right now I'm going after iguana. And it's very exciting. And in the next video I'm going to explain why I'm going after iguana and the tools that I'm using to capture them and to process them and I'm going to be discussing everything. I'm going to be showing you how I can my catch. I'm going to be showing you how I cook it and so on and so forth. And so I'm going to be explaining to you why in the next video, why I'm going after the iguana, how I'm going to catch them, and why is it going to be beneficial for me to do that. All right. So that's it, folks. I thought I owed you guys an explanation, and I gave it to you. And if you have any questions, please post them below. and I will be more than happy to answer your questions. All right? So you know how it goes, guys. If you want to be like me, I'm a survivor and thriver. Have a good one, folks. Much love.